Today in Review This Thing, we're going to review this thing, the Mantis X10 Elite Training System. Hey, this is Adrian with Review This Thing. Before we do that, do us a big favor, click that subscribe button right there, click that notification bell. If you have one of these, comment below and let us know what you think. Also, if I don't answer all your questions, ask those below and hopefully I'll be able to do that. All right, let's go ahead and review this thing. As always on Review This Thing, we want to cover the facts. The first part is fit. So the first part of fit I want to talk about is they have several different options. The X10 Elite is the one that you can use on a pistol, shotgun, rifle, a bow, crossbow. As long as you can mount it, then you can use it and get feedback. As far as fitting on each of those weapons, all you need is just a pick rail, and this slides right on there. I'll show you how we had it mounted on my pistol. We just took some double-sided tape and taped this little pick rail that you can order from Mantis right on the bottom. And when you're ready to use it, you just flip this little switch down and slide it right on that pick rail, and you're ready to go. And because that little pick rail will attach to anything as long as you have double-sided tape, then that's how you can mount it to your bow, a crossbow, things like that. The kit also comes with several mounting options. It has this barrel mount that comes with it, so you can just attach it right to the barrel for the shotgun or maybe the rifle. The other aspect of fit I want to talk about is the size and weight. You can see this thing is super tiny and it's super light, so putting it on a pistol, shotgun, you're really not even noticing that it's there. So what kind of score are we going to give fit? It's really small, really light, and as long as you can get some double-sided tape and mount a pick rail, use the barrel mount, it's super easy to mount. So, because of that, we're going to give fit a 5 out of 5. Now, is the Mantis X10 Elite as advertised? The first thing that Mantis advertises is that it gives you real-time, data-driven coaching. I would definitely say that it does that, and it does it in a few different ways. I'm going to talk about the pistol first because that's mainly how we used it. Whenever you go through a training round, each time you shoot, it registers a score. You can set it so that you can actually hear the score, so you get that real-time feedback there. And every time you shoot, it gives you a score as well as it lights up around the circle. So if you just click on that, you can read the mistakes that you were likely making, as well as a few tips on how you can improve that. As far as using it on the bow, the main way that it doesn't actually give you a score when you're shooting a bow, but it does show you all those movements, which is pretty cool. The other thing they advertise is that 94% of people improve their shooting after 20 minutes. Now, obviously, I didn't go around testing a bunch of people and get a number to see how accurate that was. So I did a little test on myself. I shot it first, and I did it live fire, and got a score of, I think it was like 84.3. And then I mounted the Mantis to an air pistol that I had. I also mounted it to my pistol a few times and did some dry fire drills that way. My intention was to practice and do these drills every day for like a month and then retest, but it didn't happen that way, and my practice was a lot more sporadic. And then it occurred to me that that's probably how most people are going to end up using it. So one interesting thing I found was that whenever I was dry firing, I had very similar mistakes. But whenever I would go do my live fire shooting, I was very consistent with my grouping, but each time I was making different mistakes. So I wonder if I was just so focused on fixing the one mistake I knew I was making that I, in turn, ended up making other mistakes. Another thing I did notice is that with the Mantis results and where the bullet was actually hitting, it was very consistent with the bullet doing what Mantis said it would probably do. So that's handy to know that when you are dry firing, that it's pretty accurate with the mistake that you're likely going to make. The unfortunate thing for this experiment was when I did my pre-test, I actually got a really good score for me. And so the follow-up scores were not significantly better. Groupings were good, but the live fire score did not improve significantly. My dry fire scores definitely improved as I did the training, and I was consistently in like the low 90s. So is the Mantis X10 Elite as advertised? It definitely gives you real-time feedback and data-driven information so you can make good decisions about your training based on the result. As far as improving my shooting, the scores didn't change a lot. A couple of things I could probably attribute that to. Number one, my training wasn't consistent. Number two, there are several drills that you can work through, but then it got to a point where you were doing magazine change drills, and I didn't work through those, and there wasn't a way to skip them, so I just kept doing open training. So that might be an area the app can improve, is to be able to skip drills that you don't have the ability to practice. So as far as score, my shooting didn't improve a ton, but I don't think that's completely the device's fault. So because of that, I'm going to say, is it as advertised? 4.25 out of 5. Now on to construction and durability. First thing I want to talk about is just the construction of the device itself. I mentioned it's very small, very lightweight, which makes it super easy to mount on whatever weapon you want, and you don't even notice it's there. And even though it is small and lightweight, it doesn't feel really cheaply made, so I haven't had any concerns of it breaking. Now I want to talk about construction in terms of the app. It's super easy to connect. So you just hit the connect button and it connects via Bluetooth pretty easily. In the menu, you'll see that there are several different training options. And again, most of the time I just use the open training. So you can shoot as many times as you want, any speed you want. There is one area of the app that I think could be a little bit better. When it tells you the mistake you're making, it just says, you're making this mistake, try not to do that. So for me, I found I had a bit of a hard time fixing the mistake because I was so focused on not doing what it was telling me not to do that I didn't know how to do something different instead. I also think it might be neat if in the app they had links to different beginner shooting videos, like maybe how to grip the gun, how to stand, and those sorts of things. They do have videos on YouTube, but I wasn't able to find through the app a way that directly connected. So it might be neat if there was a mistake you constantly make that you can just click on a video that demonstrates how not to do that versus just that short clip showing you what you're doing. And then lastly, I do want to talk about one minor issue we've had. Sometimes it won't register the shot, especially during live fire, which you would think with so much recoil, it would definitely register it. But whenever it does that, we've just turned it off, restarted everything, and then it's worked pretty good. Another thing I noticed when live firing is that sometimes you get crazy low scores of like a 4 or 5. And maybe I really was shooting that bad, but it doesn't feel like you're doing anything that majorly wrong. Again, if that happens consistently, you just turn it off, turn it back on, and it should start registering more accurate scores. Another thing with, I guess, construction I want to make you aware of is that it's much easier to use this tool if you have a couple of additional things. One of those is one of these TRT blanks that you just put in your magazine, and what that does is whenever you slide it back so that it's ready to fire, it doesn't eject a shell. And I also purchased this pink Rhino laser cartridge mainly so that there would be a blank bullet in there, so whenever the firing pin fired, it actually hit something. And the cool thing is when the firing pin hits the blank, you see a laser projected on the wall as to where the bullet would hit. So what score do we give construction and durability? The device itself is great. The app is easy to use. I do wish there was a little more maybe directional information versus just letting me know what mistakes I'm making. Overall, I've been really happy with it, so I'm going to give construction and durability a 4.75 out of 5. Now on to testimonials and reviews. Overall, it gets really, really good scores, but I always want you to know the complaints that some people had. The first thing people complained about is that it doesn't always register your shots. We definitely have talked about that. That has happened. There are a couple things within the app that you can troubleshoot if it's not registering shots, or you can just take it off, put it back on, and start over. Some people complain that they don't feel like it's always an accurate estimation of shooting or shot placement, so you may have a really low score, but it would hit where it was supposed to on the target. The big thing I think is that it's just a really good tool to help you get a lot of shots without using ammo. And then finally, people complain that the Mantis 10X Elite is too expensive. So this device is $250. Mantis has several different options. This one is just available to do live fire and dry fire, as well as mount on several different weapons. They do have a version that's just for dry fire for a pistol that's $99. And then if you want to be able to live fire also, they have a version that's $169. So what score is testimonials and reviews? As always, we just give you the score we found, which is 4.95 out of 5. Now, finally, should you buy this thing? You know I'm going to say this, it really depends on what you're looking for. If what you're looking for is a way to dry fire and see where you hit on a target, then this is not necessarily the device that you're looking for. They do have a laser training system, and that's more what that's meant for. This is definitely more to give you tips on how to shoot. So what mistakes are you making? Are you squeezing the trigger? Are you pushing forward? So if those are the things you want help with, then this device is definitely made for that. Also keep in mind they have different options. Just look for the one that fits your needs. And do keep in mind if you want to dry fire your own weapon, you're probably going to want to get one of these TRTs as well as some sort of blank. And the pink Rhino cartridge lets you have that additional benefit of seeing where the bullet would hit. So if you want to be able to track your movement and your shooting on several different devices, then this is the thing for you. Now it does cost $250, so if that's not what you're looking for, then I probably wouldn't recommend this one. For us, we've never used it on a shotgun. We did put it on a rifle, but we were shooting off a rest, so the score was like 99 point something, so not super helpful for us there. My husband did use it on his bow and liked the feedback of the movement, but would have also liked to have had some more detailed feedback of if he was doing something wrong and how he could fix it. If all of those things are of interest to you, I would definitely give this a 5 out of 5. For me, the $169 version would probably accomplish what I need it to and use it just live firing as well as in conjunction with the pink Rhino laser cartridge that I got and do exactly what I needed to do. So because I don't necessarily need this one, I would give Should I Buy This Thing a 4.5 out of 5. Hey, thanks for watching our Mantis X10 Elite review video. While you're here, watch a ton of other videos, share them with your friends, like them, comment, and make sure you definitely subscribe. Also, do us a favor and follow us on Facebook and on Instagram.